Hello and welcome to the Worcester and Birmingham Canal on a rather grey day. Dry, I think the Scots call it, don't they? So, Bridge 58. Oh, there's actually someone around. First person I've seen for a while. Sorry, not Armco, Harris on the towpath. It's because you're not supposed to go any further along here on the towpath because there was a big landslip. So when we came through Birmingham in October, middle of October was it? There was a stoppage. We couldn't get any further than Alvechurch. In fact, we asked for permission to stop in Shortwood, which was granted. And yeah, so we stopped in Shortwood and waited while they sorted out the landslip to allow boats to pass. But there's still a bit of a problem for pedestrians. The towpath actually goes up and over the hill. I'm not quite sure what the problem is, to be honest, because I mean, as you can see, you can walk down here and there doesn't appear to be anything to me that stops you getting back over the back up and over the path over the tunnel. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something I haven't noticed when we came through at the time. So we were moored above Tardebigg Top Lock. Below Tardebigg Top Lock, but I reversed down through the lock because there's 30 locks in total, and I don't have time on a winter's day on my own, single-handing, to do 30 locks guaranteed, get to the other end without completely knackering myself out. And I've probably started this video slightly too early, but I'm going to carry on videoing through the tunnel. Looking at the tunnel up there, you probably think excuse me, that's big enough for a narrowboat. So it's actually big enough for two narrowboats. It's about 500 meters long, but it is a two-way tunnel. And you can see obviously the approaches to these places. They're going to be prey to all sorts of trees falling over the canal, etc, shenanigans, and worst case scenario, as I say, landslips. So there's a second set of Harris there, and what you can see beyond it is actually some black piping that they appear to have installed to take runoff water from higher up and feed it directly into the canal rather than it destroying any more of the towpath. As I say, it's not really a towpath after that point because it goes up and over the tunnel. So there were chains in the previous Tardebigg tunnel along the side that they would have used to pull the boats through, because the tunnel's obviously too tall for legging, where you lay on top of the boat and leg it through. That's where the expression comes from, believe it or not. But there were chains along Tardebigg tunnel. This is Shortwood tunnel, and in a moment I will turn the tunnel light on. There we go, tunnel light on. Someone has clearly removed at least one of those pieces of Harris, but as we always say to health and safety people at festivals, if you're going to put one clip on a Harris, you might as well not have it at all. They've actually done some more work to that since I last saw it. This big pipe that comes down there, it's got more sandbags on it. Well, and that's why they've closed the towpath, because the pipe's laying in the middle of it, but I don't really see why you can't just allow people to walk up the side of it, but hey ho, there you go. And there's already a feeder out there, as you can see. That I think is runoff water from the fields, whereas that, clearly there must have been a source of water that's cascading down there, and has then come and done all of this. So there were trees there, and the trees fell down across the canal. They've removed most of them. I don't think it's really the kind of place where it's appropriate for me to stop and take the chainsaw to any of the rest of it to bolster our wood supplies. We're not running short anyway. All boats keep right, so there you go, unpowered craft unprohibited. There's a ladder there for in case anyone does fall in the tunnel. It's a tall tunnel, so I'll stay on the stay in my habitual steering position on the rail. It's only 500 metres. I've got one of the big lightsaber wands down on one of the hooks there. In a longer tunnel, I would take that out and have that opposite me on the other rail, ready to pick up. I can't actually see any chains on the side here. There's certainly no chains on my side, on the port side. There was a board over the other side, but I can't see any chains. So I was, funnily enough, I was discussing with my mum the other day. In fact, I generally would identify as claustrophobic. I can see the end of the tunnel, so not really getting a mega effect of that. As you can see, the idea with the tunnel light is to shine it up so that you see, well, for two reasons. One, you see the tunnel in front of you, and on older, tighter tunnels that have variable and low ceilings, you want to see what's coming along. But also, what you don't want to do is blind boats coming towards you, because there is room to pass. I could go right over to the side. You can see there's water dripping through the top here as well. And this is going to end up being one of my longer videos, but we're almost halfway through the tunnel, so I might as well carry on. We're doing about 1400 revs, which is about 3.5 miles an hour. You can just start to see, I will stop the video before then because I don't want people to see it actually. So I'll probably, you can see there's something after the tunnel. I'm not going to comment any further. It's been there a while and it's very, very covered in leaves. But yeah, a nice wide tunnel. You get a wide beam through it, because you can get two narrow boats side by side. That's quite interesting, going past people in tunnels. The worst thing is if people decide, if they get scared and suddenly decide to slow down. The faster you're going, the more rudder authority you have. So I just tend to go normal cruising speed through tunnels. We've well, I am touching wood because the end of the tiller is wood. So touch wood. We've never had any issues. I did follow someone through Blissworth Tunnel a couple of years ago, which is over 2 miles long, who was very handily, in inverted commas, shining a white light backwards. That was really helpful. But it's just a question of watching ahead. And not letting the boat get out of kilter in the first place. The further you let the boat out of kilter, I mean, every second you spend watching and keeping the boat dead aligned is 10 seconds you don't have to spend sorting it out. particularly in a tunnel, because obviously the water can't go anywhere else. So Vinny's displacing 23 tonnes of it, and all 23 tonnes have to go somewhere, and they're basically coming back past the boat. So if I end up towards the side instead of slap bang in the middle, then that massively distorts the fluid dynamic effects of what's going on. You know, and the water that I'm displacing at the front ends up coming down, hitting the stern. You're all over the place trying to sort it all out. But yeah, there we go. That's the other end. This is the end I'm coming out. And then we're only about half a mile from the bottom end of Alvechurch. I'll be stopping on wherever the first available mooring is, I think. And then wandering into Alvechurch, do a bit of shopping. So there we go. Worcester and Birmingham Canal. Shortwood tunnel. Something's fallen in the water out there. There we go. Right. Into the light. Time to turn the tunnel light off. Little bit.